Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. Today on the podcast, we're going to look at 4 tips that will help make your small business in coffee more profitable. And these are tips that you should be able to implement within the first couple of months of starting to get your head around these tips. And it will depend on how quickly you'll be able to affect your profit margins based on these tips will depend on how much knowledge you currently have around the 4 things that we're going to talk about. So brace yourself and know that going into this, that the 4 tips we're about to discuss may require a little bit of learning or a lot of learning on your part, but I promise you that these 4 things will absolutely show results on your bottom line if you are able to implement them effectively. So, tip number 1. Understand your profit and loss statement or your income statement. Depending on where you are in the world, they call them different things. So understanding your profit and loss statement is imperative to you getting your head around your financial health as a business. Now, why is particularly your profit and loss statement important for you to understand so that you can become more profitable? For a couple of reasons. First of all, it will tell you your current net position. That means the position of your financial health once you take into account all the money that comes into the business, less all the money that leaves the business that you pay out of the business in order for you to pay for ingredients and product to make your products, as well as the cost of operating your business. Now, the money that you've got left over a period of time, and what I mean by that is you can run a profit and loss statement for your year to date of operating, or you can do it for a particular quarter or for a particular week so that you can figure out what your net position is in a period of time. In order for you to use this as a tool to get more profitable, you'll have to learn how to read it. Now, who teaches you how to read it or where you learn how to read this can determine the difference between whether it just sounds like jumbo mumbo or if you actually get your head around it. So find a resource that will help you understand it in very clear terms so that it's not overwhelming you. If the way that this podcast is kind of put together and you understand the way that I speak, consider joining. And I don't mean like you understand English, but different people have different ways of communicating. And if my communication strategy works for you and you've typically found understanding a profit and loss statement quite difficult, consider joining one of our mastermind groups or perhaps getting into some coaching with me so that I can help demystify some of this stuff for you. And because once you get your head around a profit and loss statement, it allows you to start digging deeper. This is the second reason how a profit and loss statement will help you get more profitable. Once you understand the different sections in your profit and loss statement, you can start mining that information to give you a clearer direction of where the money is leaching out of your business, whether it's in your fixed operating costs, whether it's in your variable operating costs, or whether it's in your cost of goods. So that's the understanding your profit and loss statement is the first key factor to getting more profitable. And it will lead in to a whole bunch of strategies for you getting more profitable once you start getting into there. But number 2 in our 4 tips of how to get more profitable as a coffee business is to start revisiting your cost breakdown analysis for each of your products. So what are we talking about here? You may never have done a cost breakdown analysis, but if you have, or if you haven't, but if you have, it's time to revisit them. Now, if you want to know what a cost breakdown analysis is, check out a previous version of the podcast for more detail. Just go to our website or our YouTube channel and just Google cost breakdown analysis. And just search cost breakdown analysis. But so we can make this a standalone episode, your cost breakdown analysis is the cost of goods sold for that particular product plus a proportion of the revenue as a reflective percentage based on your profit and loss statement. What that means, because I know some of you your brains broke then. This leads back to why your profit and loss statement is important. If you look at your profit and loss statement, there's a portion of it that's assigned to operating costs. Now, that proportion as a percentage of all the money that comes into your business will give you an understanding of how much of every product you sell you need to allocate to your operating expenses. So if you look at your profit and loss statement and you see that 20% of your total revenue is assigned to covering the cost of your COGS, your cost of goods sold. But 60% of your total revenue is assigned to operating expenses. When you do your cost breakdown analysis, what you do is, what are the cost of the goods that are required to make this product plus an equivalent proportion as dictated by your profit and loss statement of the revenue of this thing you're trying to sell is assigned to your operating expenses. And that will give you the total cost of this product. Now, if you've never done this before, it can be difficult to get your head around. Again, join the Small Business Mastermind group. We talk about this stuff all the time in that. Or just get some coaching from me and we'll make sure it's organized and sorted and you get it clear. But revisiting the pricing of each of your products, if you have determined them before or if not, will at least start to show you whether the cost breakdown analysis that you've done for each of your products has gone up or it's gone down or remained unchanged. And this can be a key indicator for you whether you need to increase some of your prices or you need to eliminate some of your product lines, or even still find different suppliers for your products. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 1 was profit and loss statement. Number 2, revisit your cost breakdown analysis. Number 3, This goes back to a recent episode of the podcast, and this is about rejigging the way that you add value to the customer. Now, if you look at your pricing structure across the board, what I want you to do is reassess what it is that you give away for free and rejig that so that you are adding value to the customer that far outweighs any product you may be giving away for free, whether it be through loyalty programs, whether it be through customers that you like that show up that you just want to hand over a free coffee to, whether it be through the way that your staff just seem to give away free coffees to their friends, etc., etc. I want you to reassess all of that. So looking at the way that you add value to your customer that far outweighs any need for them to get free product is an important way for you to start increasing your profitability as a business. This means that you're increasing your revenue and reducing the burden that you have to cover the cost of free product from the sales that come after you've given away free product. Okay, so again, number 1, profit and loss statement. Number 2, is the cost breakdown analysis. Number 3, add value to the customer that doesn't put a burden on you to give away free product. And number 4, give your staff the language they need to service your customers' needs above and beyond anything that your customers expect. Now, this leans on the last tip that we gave you about adding value to your customers. So it's one thing to have a strategy to add value to your customers' experience. It's a whole other thing to teach your staff how to deliver on that value, so that if your staff are not aligned with what your expectations are of them, they are going to go off on their own strategy of what they believe their boundaries are around their job, and how you as a small business team, staff and leadership, are delivering on what the objective of the business is. So it's really important for you to have clarity around how you have chosen as a small business to deliver that value to your customer, and then understanding the language around that and educating your staff on how you as a small business will be delivering that value and what you will no longer be delivering. So, for example, if you are getting rid of loyalty programs, one scenario would be, okay, team, we've decided we're not doing loyalty programs anymore. Okay, good for you. That's just how things are from today on. All right? That's one way to approach that. The other way to approach something like that is create some graphics, some one-pager graphics that you can use on your socials that help your customers understand, as well as your staff understand, why you're getting rid of your loyalty programs, and having a strategy of how you're going to deliver value that ties back to either the life currencies of your business or the value statements of your business, and helping your staff get their heads around what you will be replacing loyalty programs with and the value that will be adding to your customers. Now, again, this is the kind of stuff that we talk quite a lot about in our mastermind groups, and we help small business owners develop these strategies in the coffee industry, in knowing how to transition those programs and what they'll be replaced with. There's no template for this. When we do this in the mastermind groups, or when I do it with one-on-one clients, it takes into account everything that you've established about your business so that we can create a unique strategy for you and for your team and for your customer base, because it's important for you to get a clear understanding of what your customers need that you are delivering. So I hope that's been helpful in giving you 4 very important tips on how you can get more profitable as a coffee business starting right now. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.